I'm Taylor.
And I'm Brian.
This is Apex Chassis.
Welcome to Utah.
Come along as the Apex Army takes on the beautiful Utah wilderness. Their adventure begins low in the Valley of the Gods, a beautiful valley that traverses through some of the most beautiful desert that Utah has to offer, showcasing incredible natural rock formations towering above. The gang will eventually work their way to Moab for some exciting rock crawling, but they'll have to battle Lockhart Basin first, the hardest section of the Utah Backcountry Discovery Route. Step 1. Complete the 17-hour drive to a predetermined meetup spot. Taylor and Hunter would arrive first and set up camp, waiting for the rest of the group to arrive in the morning. They would enjoy a well-cooked meal and camp under the beautiful stars in the Valley of the Gods. In the morning, Brian, Carl, and Ryan would arrive and the journey would begin. The goal today was to get through the Valley of the Gods and work their way toward Lockhart Basin. The group would get through the Valley of the Gods, work their way through the Moki Dugway switchbacks, and eventually find a camp upon a ledge overlooking the valley, just in time for sunset. This area of Utah is filled with signs of the life before. With petroglyphs and ancient artifacts existing throughout the desert, it was a must to go appreciate them. Taylor knew of a hike that would lead the crew to a beautiful sight. The Apex gang had high aspirations for this trip. Though one could revel at the sights forever, the trip had to go on. Utah is fascinating. Minutes prior, the crew was in a raw, flat desert expanse, only to be surrounded by trees and mountains the next. The wildlife was incredible. Monticello, small but necessary town along the Utah Backcountry Discovery Route, was our last stop before heading into Lockhart. We would find camp just outside of town one last night before committing to the basin. We stopped at Utah's famous newspaper rock and took in more sights of petroglyphs. Brian is bringing a trailer through Lockhart Basin. This is going to be interesting. For those of the group that have been here before, this place is often talked about. This basin offers a person complete solitude. The group wouldn't see another vehicle for the entire 2 days they spent out there. The group made it into Moab, grabbed some quick necessities, and headed out to find camp. In the morning, the gang was headed to Hell's Revenge. Everyone had an absolute blast on Hell's Revenge. They would opt to hit a few more trails over the next couple days before eventually heading home. This group had never been in the same place until this trip, where they would all coexist together in the desert for over a week. Everyone came together for the love of the off-road community and their love of adventure. Real lifelong friendships were formed along this trip. Whether you have Apex parts or not, the off-road community is one community. Apex Chassis believes in that.